Today we have chosen to talk to you about the famous director Tim Burton. Tim Burton was born on August 25th, 1958 in Burbank, California. He began his career when he decided to study animation at the California Institute of Arts. Burton then went on to work for Disney, where he stayed for less than a year before he went off by himself. His first movie that gave his career a jump start was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. From there, he went on to create many famous movies, such as Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, a recreation of Alice in Wonderland, and many more.
Tim Burton's style is very unique and different, but absolutely brilliant. He uses more formalist techniques, allowing him to focus on the way the movie is filmed and edited. He brings many original aspects into his films, for instance, often breaking the rule of thirds. This is predominantly demonstrated in one of his later films, the recreation of Alice in Wonderland, which stars the famous actor Johnny Depp.
In the first still, you can see that Alice and Hamish are centered in front of the crowd. Moving to the next still, Alice is in the middle of the lock trying to get the key off the table. In the last still, it is a picture of the Cheshire Cat placing the crown on the White Queen's head. This is one of the final scenes and also one of the most important from Alice in Wonderland. Breaking the rule gives the scene a different effect and perspective all around. The last still showing this is in one of his earlier films, Beetlejuice. When the couple walks in their home after the accident, they are both completely centered. Besides these few examples, it is shown much more through many of his other creations.
The next thing we observed about Burton's formalistic films is that he uses color in a very different way. It is original and adds so much more to each individual film, contributing to their greatness. In the first two movies we watched, Alice in Wonderland and Beetlejuice, he uses bright colors when people enter a new type of world. In the first clip, you can see when Alice walks into Wonderland and everything becomes brighter and much more colorful. The plants and all of the different creatures around play a huge role in how he used color here. Then in the second clip from Beetlejuice, Adam and Barbara go into a type of underworld or afterlife, and once again the colors go from plain to almost neon, making the difference in the two places extremely noticeable.
To change things up, Tim Burton created the movie Edward Scissorhands. In the clip shown, you can notice how all the colors along the street are pastel and pretty. Then you have Edward, who appears to be wearing all black and has a very frightening appearance. This contrasts the other two films since it's representing something different, but is still an original use of color. Another thing that Tim Burton does is use stripes in almost every movie he has made. It makes things stand out that are important. Normally, it will bring dominance to an object or person, making that thing stand out the most. Here you can see a still from Beetlejuice of the main character himself.
The last thing we are going to discuss is that Tim Burton does in relation to formalism in his different types of shots. In Alice in Wonderland, he uses two different types of shots that are unusual. When Alice is falling, he uses high angle, which is shot from above her looking down. And then he also uses a low angle, which is shot from below her looking up. Both of these shots flow together seamlessly, making the fall entertaining to watch from very different point of view.
With this, he also uses a type of montage. In the same clip we show, Tim demonstrates a long period of time passing in a short take. It lets the audience know she fell for a long time and far down, but without letting us get bored of watching an endless scene.
Another way he creates different shots is in Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. He uses pans a lot to move the camera from side to side and up and down. This type of edit comes together nicely and makes the scene organized and strong. Here is the first clip where you can see the pan exemplified.
And here is the second clip from Edward Scissorhands showing another original use of a pan.
I think that Liz and I can both agree that Tim Burton is not only one of the most original directors in filmmaking history, but also a genius. His formalist filmmaking techniques also brought a whole new level of amazing to the movie industry, allowing himself as well as many other directors to grow and learn from his creations. He is an all-time favorite director for the both of us.
The way Tim Burton brings fantasy, horror, and some comedy all together in most of his films makes him extraordinarily talented. With every movie, he has another surprise or trick up his sleeve to impress his audience. How I see it is that every single one of his films are timeless. They each bring something different, authentic, and exciting to watch, and not one will be easily forgotten. Tim Burton is incredible and will forever be a memorable director and influence in the film industry.